What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Welcome to Pretty Dece, your daily entertainment and pop culture show. You know, the ways in which we play and interact with video games is changing, but unfortunately Sony doesn't seem to want to keep up with those changes. Today, a new trailer for Minecraft on the Switch came out, and it was touting that game's cross-play feature between Switch consoles and Xbox consoles. And this trailer is entirely co-branded between Microsoft and Xbox. It shows two gamers, one with an Xbox controller and one on a Switch. They're both playing together in the game. There are graphics that come up that are red on one side for Switch and green on the other for the Xbox. It's all about playing together. It shows the competitor in a favorable light. Everyone's having fun. It has this real kind of we're in this together feel to it, which is really wild, really crazy, and really awesome. Notably excluded from this, however, is Sony, whose version of Minecraft will not offer this crossplay, won't be updated to feature any of these new fun things, letting them play with other versions of the game. This is, of course, hot on the heels of some similar controversy that popped up around E3 when Fortnite came out on the Switch, and tons of gamers found out that since they had already logged in to their Epic Games account on a PS4, they couldn't do so on the Switch. If your Epic Games account, which is used for Fortnite, has ever logged on to a PS4, you can't use it on Xbox, you can't use it on Switch. You can only use it on PC and PS4. That same restriction is not true for, of course, Microsoft or Switch. It's only if it ever looped through the PS4. This is actually a boat that I'm in, and it's incredibly frustrating, as the PS4 is my least favorite place to play Fortnite. It just so happens it was the first non-PC place that I logged into, so my account is now locked down to only be able to play on PC and PS4, despite wanting to play on Xbox more and now definitely more on Switch. So Sony got a ton of flack for that Fortnite thing, and their response to all of that controversy was the most say-nothing marketing speak that I've ever seen come out of a company. Basically, it was a lot of talking around the fact that they're not going to change anything. And now Microsoft and Nintendo are taking this opportunity to dunk on Sony, showing how open they are to crossplay and working together and how much it benefits the consumer, this collaboration, this kind of joining forces in these particular games. Nintendo of America even tweeted to the Xbox account talking about playing Minecraft together. It feels like this awesome time in gaming. If you had told me when I was younger that two different console manufacturers like Nintendo and Microsoft were going to be working together and I'd be able to play games with friends in the same game across consoles, I would not have believed you. This is an incredibly pro-consumer move. It's this awesome thing that's going on right now in games. And it's deleting these silly boundaries and breaking down these goofy fanboy feuds and drama, because it's mattering less and less where you're playing games and what games you're playing. But of course, Sony isn't catching up to this new wave. So why? Why is Sony having these restrictions when Microsoft and Nintendo don't seem to care? And I think it really comes down to where the money is being made, at least in Sony's mind. You see, hardware is not really where these companies are making their money. Console manufacturers don't make a ton on every single PS4 that they sell. There are famous stories about how, when the original Xbox came out, Microsoft was actually losing money on every single console they sold, hoping to make that up in game sales. They were kind of treating it as a loss leader to get you in the door, get you in their ecosystem, and then they'd make it up with games. Now, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are making the majority of their bank on selling these games, of course, as we go, and these games are increasingly becoming digital. You're buying them on the storefront, you're not buying a physical copy of the game anymore. And Sony is apparently terrified of the fact that you're going to buy a game or buy DLC, buy some product on a competing digital store and then bring it to their platform to play. So in their minds, they're getting the worst end of the deal. You bought a PS4, they didn't make a ton of money on you, and then you're spending your actual cash they were trying to get elsewhere on other platforms. I think that's the big doomsday scenario that they're trying to avoid. This is, of course, incredibly misguided. Instead of dissuading you from purchasing things on other storefronts, they're pushing you towards that. If I know that I can go buy a game elsewhere, like on the Xbox store or on the Switch, and play with my friends, play with this whole huge audience that I wouldn't have been able to play otherwise, why would I do that? Why would I not do that? Instead, why would I show up to this kind of walled garden that the PS4 is creating? Why would I not go buy something where it's going to be more open, I'm going to have more opportunity, and I'm going to be able to port those purchases to other platforms? It just makes sense from a consumer standpoint. So Sony desperately needs to change this, but unfortunately I don't see them doing so. They've held this stance for a very long time, this entire console generation, dating back to when Rocket League first came out. Rocket League has gone on to launch, of course, on other platforms, and in all those platforms, Xbox, PC, Switch, it has crossplay, it works amazingly, but not on PS4. So Sony needs to get with the times and just let the gamers play. So that's going to do it for Pretty Dece for today. Thank you very much for joining me here on the show. If you like the show and you want to see more, new episodes of Pretty Dece premiere weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/PrettyDeceShow. You can also find new episodes of the show on the podcast feed and, of course, on the YouTube channel at PrettyDeceShow.com/video. Finally, you can catch me on Facebook and Twitter at Pretty Dece Show.